Hey everyone! Welcome back to Daily English Listening, your go-to podcast for learning English and improving your life one conversation at a time.
That's right. I'm Liam, and as always, I'm joined by my wonderful co-host, Emma.
Hi Liam, I'm so happy to be here today. I was just thinking this morning about how different my life is now compared to 5 years ago.
Oh, really? What were you thinking about?
Well, 5 years ago, I was so nervous about everything. I was afraid to speak English in public. I was afraid to apply for better jobs. I was just stuck.
I know that feeling well. I remember when I first moved to an English-speaking country, I would walk into a store and practice my sentences in my head before talking to the cashier.
I did that too. Hello, how much is this? Okay, now say it. You can do this.
And sometimes I would just walk out without buying anything because I was too nervous to speak.
Oh no. But look at us now. We host a podcast in English. We talk to thousands of people every week. What changed?
That's exactly what we're talking about today. How do you go from feeling stuck to feeling confident? How do you change your life?
Yes. Today's episode is called This Video Will Change Your Life. And we mean it. Not because we have magic powers, but because we're going to share real, practical steps that actually work.
And before we jump in, we have something special for you. We've created a free PDF packed with practical exercises to help you take real steps to change your life.
It includes key takeaways from today's discussion, comprehension questions to test your understanding, and grammar exercises to build confidence in your English skills.
And that's not all. We're also introducing some intermediate level words and phrases in today's episode. We'll take a closer look at them and explain how to use them in real life conversations.
So stick around. By the end of this episode, not only will you have practical steps to change your life, but you'll also have new English vocabulary to help you express your ideas even better.
Sounds good, Emma. So let's start with a big question. Why do some people completely turn their lives around while others stay stuck in the same place for years?
That's something I think about a lot. You see someone go from struggling to successful, and you wonder, what's their secret? Are they just lucky?
Or is there something they're doing differently every single day?
I think it's the second one. When I look back at my own journey learning English, it didn't change overnight.
Same here. At first, it felt impossible. So many words, so many grammar rules. I thought I would never get it.
But then, little by little, things started making sense. And that's when it hit me. Life is the same way. Big transformations don't happen in one day.
It's not about one huge decision. It's about the little changes we make every day, the small habits, the tiny improvements.
Exactly. And thinking about what we just talked about, how life changes little by little, it makes me wonder why so many people struggle to make those changes in the first place.
That's a great question. Change sounds exciting, right? A fresh start, a new beginning. But here's the truth. Most people never actually make those changes.
Why? Because change is hard. Let's talk about the common reasons people feel stuck.
Yes, first there is fear of failure. Many people ask, what if I try and fail?
But what if you try and succeed? Every successful person has failed along the way. The difference is, they kept going.
The second reason is lack of direction. Some people know they want a better life, but don't know where to start. They think they need a perfect plan before taking action.
And then there's negative self-talk, saying things like, I'll never be good at English, or I'm just not a language person. These thoughts stop progress before it even begins.
Finally, one of the biggest traps, waiting for motivation. People say, I'll start when I feel ready. But here's a secret. Motivation comes after action, not before.
That reminds me of when I struggled with a personal challenge. I kept waiting for the perfect moment to start practicing speaking every day.
And what happened?
That perfect moment never came. I waited and waited, until one day, I just decided to start. I recorded myself speaking for 2 minutes. It was terrible.
Ha ha ha. Really?
Really. My pronunciation was bad. I forgot words, but I did it again the next day, and the next. And after 1 month, I could hear the improvement.
That's a great point. And I remember feeling the same when I was learning English. At first I thought, I'm not good at this, but then I realized the only way to get better was to actually start practicing.
Exactly. And that brings us to our key lesson. Understanding what's holding you back is the first step to changing your life.
Once you recognize these barriers, you can start working on breaking them down.
So, Liam, now that we understand what holds people back, the next big question is, how do we actually start making those changes?
That's where small, daily improvements come in. People often think they need a dramatic transformation overnight, but real change happens gradually.
Have you heard of the 1% rule?
Yes, if you improve just 1% every day, you'll be 37 times better in a year.
That's because small efforts compound over time, just like interest in a bank account. You don't see the growth right away, but it's happening.
Exactly. And that ties into the power of habits. There's a great book called Atomic Habits by James Clear. He talks about how habits shape our identity.
Small changes may not seem big at first, but they redefine who you are over time. For example, if you read for 10 minutes every day, after 1 year you've read so much.
Or practicing English for just 5 minutes daily. That's 30 hours in 1 year. Imagine how much you can learn in 30 hours.
And I love real life examples. I know someone who became fluent in English just by listening to podcasts every day during their commute.
That's amazing. They didn't start with an intense study plan, just consistent, small steps.
The takeaway here is simple. Small, consistent actions lead to big results over time. So if you're listening and wondering where to start, just pick one small habit today.
Exactly. And you know, Emma, while taking action is important, there's something even more fundamental, our mindset.
Absolutely. Because let's be honest, how we think about change makes all the difference.
There's something called the growth mindset versus fixed mindset. If you have a growth mindset, you believe I can improve.
But if you have a fixed mindset, you think, I'll never be good at this. Which one do you think helps people change their lives?
Definitely the growth mindset. And another thing, our brain is wired to focus on what we train it to notice. Have you heard of the reticular activating system, or RAS?
Yes. It's why when you learn a new word, you suddenly hear it everywhere. Your brain filters information based on what you focus on.
So if you keep telling yourself, I can't do this, your brain will find evidence to prove it. You'll notice all the times you struggle.
But if you say, I am improving every day, your brain will focus on that progress instead. You'll notice the small wins.
That's why reprogramming your mind is so powerful. Three great ways to do that are affirmations, visualization, and gratitude.
Right. Positive self talk like, I am getting better every day, helps reshape our thoughts. Say it in the morning. Say it at night.
Visualization, seeing yourself succeed, tricks your brain into believing it's possible. Close your eyes and imagine yourself speaking English confidently.
And don't forget gratitude practice. When you focus on what's going well, you train your brain to see opportunities instead of obstacles.
That's the power of mindset. It's not magic. It's about training your brain to work for you, not against you.
So true. Now that we've talked about the power of mindset, there's something else that holds people back, waiting for the right moment to start.
Yes, so many people believe that they need to be completely ready before they take action. But here's the truth. You will never feel fully ready.
Never. Progress comes before confidence, not after. When I was learning English, I hesitated to start speaking because I felt like I wasn't ready.
What were you thinking?
I kept thinking, what if I make mistakes? What if people don't understand me? But the more I waited, the harder it became.
That's so relatable. So when you finally took that first step, what happened?
Well, Once I started speaking, I realized that making mistakes was part of the learning process. Each conversation, even with errors, built my confidence. I wasn't perfect, but I was improving.
And that's the key. There's a concept I love. Done is better than perfect.
Say that again.
Done is better than perfect. Too many people delay action because they want everything to be just right. But in reality, imperfect action is always better than no action.
Right. If you wait for perfection, you'll never get started. Whether it's learning English, starting a new habit, or making a big life change, just begin.
Small steps will lead to big improvements over time. So here's a quick challenge for you, our listeners.
Think of one thing you've been postponing. It could be practicing English, starting a workout routine, or even reaching out to someone for help.
And then just take one small step today. Not tomorrow, not next week. Today.
Because action leads to momentum, and momentum leads to confidence.
That's right. Small, consistent actions over time create massive change. So don't wait for the perfect moment. Make today the day you start.
Speaking of taking action, have you ever noticed how much our surroundings shape our habits and decisions?
Oh, absolutely. It's not just about what we do, but who and what we surround ourselves with.
The people you spend time with, the content you consume, and the mindset you adopt all play a huge role in shaping your life.
Yes, there's a famous saying, you are the average of the 5 people you spend the most time with.
Think about that for a moment. If you're surrounded by negative, unmotivated people, it's hard to stay motivated.
But if you're around positive, goal-driven individuals, their energy and habits will rub off on you. You'll naturally start thinking like them.
So, how can we create an environment that supports growth?
First, start by following inspirational people, whether it's authors, speakers, or even social media accounts. Exposing yourself to positive influences will shift your mindset over time.
Absolutely. And joining online learning communities is another great way to stay motivated. There are so many groups out there for English learners, book clubs, and personal development.
When you're part of a community that values growth, you naturally start improving too. You see others succeeding, and you think, I can do that too.
And just as important as adding positive influences is reducing exposure to negativity. That could mean limiting time spent with people who constantly complain.
Or even cutting down on negative news and social media that drain your energy. Ask yourself, does this make me feel better or worse?
That reminds me of when I was learning English. I felt stuck until I joined an online English learning community. Suddenly, I had people to practice with, share struggles with, and celebrate progress with.
That made all the difference. The right environment creates momentum, making it easier to grow and stay on track.
So here's something to think about. Who are the 5 people you spend the most time with? Are they helping you grow, or are they holding you back?
If they're not pushing you to be better, it might be time to make some adjustments. Surround yourself with people and influences that inspire and uplift you.
And speaking of inspiration, let me tell you a quick story about my friend, Carlos.
Oh, I love Carlos' stories. What happened this time?
So, Carlos was working a job he didn't like. He wanted to change his career, but he was terrified. He thought he was too old to learn new things.
How old was he?
35. And he thought that was too old. Can you believe it?
Ha 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 ha. 35 is not old at all.
I told him that, but he didn't believe me. So he stayed in that job for 2 more years, feeling unhappy every single day.
That's sad. What changed?
One day, his company had a problem. They needed someone to learn a new software quickly. Nobody wanted to do it. But Carlos thought, why not me?
So he volunteered?
Yes. He was nervous, but he volunteered. He spent 2 weeks learning that software. And you know what? He was really good at it.
Wow.
His boss noticed. Within 6 months, Carlos got a promotion. And that small success gave him the confidence to make bigger changes.
So one small step led to bigger things.
Exactly. Now, Carlos is in a completely different career. He's happy, and he always tells people, I wish I had started sooner, but I'm glad I started at all.
That's such an inspiring story. It shows that it's never too late to change. And you never know which small step will open the next door.
So true. Now, let's take a moment to review some key vocabulary from today's discussion. These are words and phrases that will help you talk about change and personal growth.
Great idea. Let's break them down together.
First word, transformation. This means a complete change. For example, learning English led to a transformation in my confidence.
Repeat after me. Transformation.
Transformation.
Next word, barrier. A barrier is something that blocks your way. Fear of making mistakes was my biggest barrier.
Repeat, barrier.
Barrier.
Next phrase, growth mindset. This means believing you can improve with effort. She has a growth mindset, so she loves challenges.
Repeat. Growth mindset.
Growth mindset.
Next word, momentum. Momentum is the force that keeps you moving forward. Once I started practicing daily, I gained momentum.
Repeat, momentum.
Momentum.
Next word, consistency. This means doing something regularly without stopping. Consistency is more important than intensity.
Repeat. Consistency.
Consistency.
Next phrase, compound effect. This means small actions adding up to big results over time. The compound effect of reading 10 minutes a day changed my life.
Repeat, compound effect.
Compound effect.
Next word, environment. This means the surroundings or conditions you live in. Create an environment that supports your goals.
Repeat. Environment.
Environment.
Next word, affirmations. These are positive statements you say to yourself. I use affirmations every morning to start my day right.
Repeat, affirmations.
Affirmations.
Next word, visualization. This means creating a mental image of your success. Visualization helps me feel more confident before a big presentation.
Repeat. Visualization.
Visualization.
And finally, gratitude. This means being thankful for what you have. Practicing gratitude every day changed my outlook on life.
Repeat, gratitude.
Gratitude.
Great job, everyone. These are powerful words to add to your vocabulary. Try using one of them in a sentence today.
Yes, write a sentence in the comments using one of these words. We'd love to see your examples.
Now, let's bring everything together. If we had to leave our listeners with one key takeaway from today's episode, what would it be, Liam?
I'd say it's this. You have more control over your life than you think. Small changes, the right mindset, and a strong environment can completely transform your life.
That's so true. And remember, progress doesn't happen overnight, but every step you take gets you closer to where you want to be.
Don't wait for the perfect moment. Don't wait until you feel ready. Start today with one small step.
And don't forget to grab our free PDF guide for today's episode. It's packed with practical exercises and vocabulary to help you reinforce what you've learned.
The link is in the description below. Download it, print it, and use it every day.
Also, let us know in the comments. What's one small change you're making today? We'd love to hear from you.
Reading your comments is the best part of our week. We read every single one.
And if you enjoyed this episode, don't forget to subscribe to Daily English Listening, share it with a friend who's learning English, and leave us a review.
It helps more people find our podcast and join our growing community.
Let's keep growing together, one small step at a time.
You've got this. We believe in you.
See you next time on Daily English Listening.
Bye for now.
Bye-bye.